Welcome, horror fans, to Tales and Thrills. Tonight, we go behind the fog and strobe lights into one of the most electrifying events on the horror calendar, Flashback Weekend 2025. If you ever wondered what happens when monsters, legends, and fans converge under one roof, this is it. Flashback Weekend is held annually in Rosemont, Illinois, typically at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare. It's a horror convention unlike many others, part nostalgia fest, part fan pilgrimage, part haunted playground. This year, the dates were August 1 to 3, 2025, and the halls echoed with screams, signatures, and supernatural energy. Flashbackweekend.com. What's on? Walking into Flashback Weekend is like stepping into a living horror film. The lobby greets you with life-size prop displays of vintage horror icons, a silent, cracked mask of Michael Myers, a blood-splattered puppet from Child's Play, a decrepit life-sized Freddy Krueger looming under red lights. Everywhere you look, cosplay runs wild. Half the crowd is dressed as ghosts, slasher villains, or undead specters. You feel the heartbeat of fandom pulsing beneath the costumes. One of the shining jewels of Flashback is its guest lineup. This year, they pulled out all stops. Horror legends like Robert Englund, yes, Freddy Krueger himself, were confirmed as special guests. The mere announcement set social media ablaze. Facebook imagined meeting the face that haunted your dreams. There are panels where these icons share behind-the-scenes stories, sign autographs, and answer fan questions ranging from, "What was your scariest on-set moment?" to, "Which mask did you hate wearing?" These moments become legendary. The programming schedule is dense. From day panels to evening screenings, there's no shortage of content. One hall might host a discussion on giallo horror, while down the hall there is a midnight screening of a restored cult classic with a live score. There are Q&A sessions, workshops on special effects makeup, prop auctions, horror art galleries, vendor rooms overflowing with rare VHS tapes and sculpted busts of creatures. Everywhere a die-hard horror fan looks, there's something to marvel at. One of the standout attractions that often steals the show is the Flashback Experience, immersive installations that let attendees feel like they've walked into famous horror scenes. In previous years, you might have navigated a haunted maze, visited a replica of a haunted asylum, or had an actor jump out in full makeup. At 2025's event, rumors swirled that there would be a live seance room and a Killer S-Lair photo op. Fans queued for hours for a chance to pose with props or be plunged into darkness with costumed actors. But of course, the real magic lies in the panels. Imagine sitting in a crowded room, lights dim, projector flaring. On stage, Robert Englund steps forward. The audience gasps. Decades of fear incarnate. Maybe he recounts working on Nightmare on Elm Street, the challenges of prosthetics, the personal toll of depicting such a dark icon. Or he might drop a tease about future horror projects. These are moments where fandom and legend collide. Another favorite panel is the Horror, Then Now discussion, exploring how horror has evolved over decades. From classic universal monsters to slashers, body horror, psychological dread, and reboots. The panelists often include directors, effects artists, and actors who lived through the changes. You'll hear discussions about how CGI replaced practical effects, but sometimes horror loses its visceral punch in the process. These conversations make you pause and reflect on what scares you. Vendor rooms are a world unto themselves. Endless tables of masks, vinyl soundtracks, hand-painted figures, obscure horror comics, prop replicas, and signed memorabilia. One fan might be hunting a rare House of 1,000 Corpses poster. Another is negotiating for a limited edition Pennywise statue. The smell of resin, old paper, glossy prints, and incense hangs in the air. You wander through eyes wide, hands itching to spend, because these are not just items, they're relics of nightmares. One of the most emotional moments happens at the memorial and tribute session. Fans and creators take a moment to remember horror legends lost. Actors, directors, writers. The room dims. A montage of images and film clips plays. Silence, save for a few sniffles and the hum of respect. Then speakers recount personal memories. Meeting Wes Craven, watching The Exorcist for the first time, and the way horror changes lives. It's a reminder that behind the monsters are humans, and behind the scares are stories. As night falls, the convention shifts. Cosplay contests take center stage. Some acts reenact scenes from Hellraiser, Saw, or Candyman. Judges rate creativity, performance, and how terrifying the reveal is. The winners walk away with trophies and bragging rights. Meanwhile, halls host midnight short film screenings, new indie horror flicks, student films, sometimes a surprise festival premiere. You sit in a dark room with hundreds of fans and watch something disturbing. Gasps fill the air. You realize you're part of a community, not just an audience. Flashback Weekend also thrives on random magic. In the corridors, you might spot someone in full Leatherface mask quietly signing posters, or see a makeup artist touch up gore effects in a break room. Wires, fake blood, silicone flesh. You overhear creators talking off stage about their next horror film, trading ideas with fans. You feel the pulse of creation around you. But it's not without challenges. Big cons like this always deal with crowd flow, line management, panel overlap. You might miss one guest because another room is packed. Some sessions run late, causing schedule clashes. Vendors sometimes run out of stock, but these are expected in an event of this scale. The passion of the community often outweighs the frustrations. In the aftermath, social media erupts. Fans post pictures, costumes, selfies with horror icons, behind-the-scenes glimpses. Clips of Englund's panel, or the seance room, or the cosplay kills go viral. Hashtags like in Flashback Weekend 2025 and Satdeja Flashback Horror Trend. Fan-run highlight reels appear minutes after panels end. Buzz builds for next year. Flashback Weekend 2025 reaffirmed why horror conventions matter. They are not just gatherings, they're sanctuaries for fear, creativity, and community. You get to meet those whose nightmares shaped your own. You breathe in the history and exhale new inspiration. If you ask me, the biggest takeaway is this: horror isn't niche. It's a culture. And every year, Flashback Weekend reminds us that generations still hunger to be scared, to share, to build. As the lights dim, the masks come off, and the crowds exit into the night. The dread lingers. The icons go home. The fans disperse. But the spirit of terror stays alive until next year's con calls us back. Outro music. Distant thunder, fading footsteps, echo of a horror laugh,